Let's bring it on. All right, my last guest at the 5-year anniversary show. Also one of the more established female wrestlers on the indies. She is a former NWA Women's Champion, and I'm so excited to have her on. I mean, I can't do this show without people like her who continues to call back regardless of her schedule. Kacee Carlisle is with me right now. How's it going, Kacee?
Hey, Kenny, it's going. How are you doing?
I'm doing real good, and thank you so much for wanting to call in a little earlier than usual. I used the tag team analogy, so I was on the ground for a moment, and I'm reaching for the tag, and you tagged me in. So thank you for the tag. I truly
I
appreciate
got you, bro. I tagged in, and I'm in the ring. You just take a breather.
it.
Just
Yeah.
take a knee, take a breather. It's cool.
Yes.
I got you.
So I think the last time I had you was probably 2 years ago. And, I keep joking around when I say this. You are, to me, have the busiest woman wrestler on the indies that I can ever think of. Because every time I see your social media, you got a show, whether it's in Rhode Island, whether it's in New York or Maryland. You are all over the eastern part of the United States. And I will continue to say that for as long as you are actively wrestling. But let's get caught up with you real quick. What's been going on with you in 2016 that you wanted to discuss, that you want to bring up?
Well, honestly, 2016 so far has kind of been, kind of status quo. As you said, busy and staying as busy as I possibly can be. There are some promotions that I have either debuted for or am preparing to debut for, and they have ladies titles, and that means I have my eyes set on those ladies titles. So not only am I, expanding into some new companies, but I have my sights set on being, the crown jewel of their women's division as well. And that's always a goal. You always want to strive to be the best. You always want to strive to be the measuring stick, and I'm no different. Other than that, really, I've just been trying to keep my calendar as full as possible. Unfortunately, I do have a knee injury that I'm dealing with, and that has wreaked havoc with the last few weeks of my schedule. Unfortunately, I haven't been nearly as active as I want to be. But beginning next weekend, I have a double shot Friday, April 22nd, and Saturday, April 23rd in West Virginia for Elite Pro Wrestling. And after that, I'm full steam ahead once again. So, hopefully my knee holds up, and I'll just be able to keep doing what I do.
I'm definitely sorry to hear about your knee injury, and I hope you're recovering very well. You know, in the wrestling industry, just like any other sport, it could take its toll to the body. And no matter how tough people can be, injuries like that can set you back a bit or whatever.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's, I save for, there was one small period of time in 2009 when I had another, medical something that forced me to take a couple of weeks out from the ring. But other than that, I've been active, on the go, abusing the hell out of my body for the past 11 years. And apparently that's exactly what it is. It's just wear and tear. It's got some torn stuff up in there. So you're absolutely right. That's just part of the game. And I've been incredibly fortunate up till this point to not have any injuries, and I still don't have any major injuries, knock on wood. I don't believe it to be major. So yeah, that's exactly what it was, and it's just part of the game.
So when you do have that first match back for injury, what's your mindset? Do you look at it as, I may not be able to do certain moves because of the injury, or you just keep doing what got you to this point, and whatever happens, happens?
Well, for me personally, It started being a problem back in February. That's when my knee, I was like, okay, something's not right, something's not cool in here. Me being me and me having that mentality that wrestlers are known to have, I just kept working on it. I wrapped it up real tightly and everything and nursed it. So it took me a month to break down and finally go to the doctor. And the only reason I did that was just because the pain got to the point that I was getting worried there was something wrong and I was doing permanent damage. But anyway, long story short, I worked on it for a month and finally went to the doctor, ended up canceling one booking, which broke my heart to no end. But then honestly, Kenny, I was back in the ring the next week after that, unbeknownst to my doctor, but I couldn't bring myself to cancel another date. So I was back in the ring a week after he told me to take a little bit of time off. And yeah, it did change my strategy a little bit. I found myself having strategized differently as far as my moveset. There's several moves and so forth that I usually drop on my opponent that involves me landing on my knee directly or in that vicinity. So I had to keep, once adrenaline gets going, and anybody who's in any type of sport I think could relate to it, once your adrenaline gets going, you're not necessarily thinking logically. You're thinking in that moment, and I'm no different. I was thinking, I'm in the ring with a formidable competitor, and I need to win this match, and I want to win this match, and obviously I want to kick ass and look good doing it. So I had to really try to be conscious of the fact that, hey, I have a messed up left knee, and I can't do everything I normally would do. But, that's like anything else. It tests your ability, and it tests your mettle, and I got through it, and that's exactly what I plan to continue doing going forward.
They wanted to wrestle that doctor who was like telling you, just rest on it. And then you probably get into character more like, what do you mean I gotta sit down? I gotta face all these competitors, and you tell me I gotta be in the sidelines? No, that's not gonna happen. Maybe that's just my dream or whatever, but I don't know.
You're not that far off from how the conversation. I certainly was not aggressive or mean to him, but we had a little conversation. There was definitely a little debate happening between the two of us as far as what I should do versus what I wanted to do and so forth. But that might have something to do with why he didn't know I wrestled on it a week later. I'm not saying that, of course, but maybe. Yeah, you're pretty on point there.
Okay, so I'm there, just minus the tone of your voice per se.
Yeah, just knock it down a notch or two, and you're close. I certainly look. I respect my doctor, and he obviously knows better than I do. And he's looking out for my best interest, which I don't always do for myself. I didn't want to take any time off. So I respect him, and I wasn't going to blatantly go against what he said. That's why I canceled that one booking, because that way I took that weekend off. And he also thought that there was a chance that it was my ACL at that point too, and so that scared me, and that also was the reason I listened to him that week. And then once he determined that's not what it was, then that might also have something to do with why I was back in the ring a week later.
All jokes aside, we give kudos to the doctors. Sometimes they gotta save you from yourself sometimes, and
absolutely,
that came with the territory, and what's most important is that you are healthy and you are ready to take all comers that stands in your way. And for people that wants to learn more from Ms. Carlisle and her upcoming matches and shows, etc., you can catch her on Twitter at Kacee Carlisle. Better yet, go to her website, KaceeCarlisle.com. She got photos, autographed photos. She's got all types of info and upcoming matches and upcoming interviews, etc.
T-shirts.
And a T-shirt. You got T-shirts?
After all these years, that's why I didn't mean to talk over you, but
Yeah,
after all of these years, yes. Well, somebody doesn't follow my social media that he's in the process of putting over very closely, does he?
yeah. Well,
Yes, I do have T-shirts available now, and they are available on my website, which is CaceeCarlisle.com. I just wanted to throw that little gem of info out there.
well, thank you so much, and I'll definitely look into purchasing one for sure. Um, but what's most important, as I've already pointed out, that you are healthy, and people anxiously await your appearance, and you will again take all comers, take all names, don't matter who it is, and Kacee, I'm not sure if I told you this before, but there are two people in the history of this show whom I interviewed the most. One is a wrestler formerly known as Mary Elizabeth Monroe, now known as Kelly Cliff, Ring of Honor, and then the other person is you. I've lost count of whom I've interviewed the most, but I do have a feeling that you may have one over her at the moment. I'm not sure. I have to look at the previous. I got to look into the old stuff and everything, but y'all two are neck and neck. Let's just put it that way.
Well,
And
very cool.
and Kacee, I know I say this all the time, and you be blushing and things like that, but I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. When it comes to Kacee Carlisle, she is class personified. Whether it's the interviews, whether it's the wrestling shows, and granted, I have not had a chance to see you wrestle in person yet. Hopefully that day will change at some point. And I feel like at this point, I may have to travel a little farther than usual in order to see you. I guess that's just what it boils down to, since some certain Kentucky wrestling promotions can't seem to comprehend that there's a wrestler out of the East Coast named Kacee Carlisle who said takes all comers and such, and for some reasons I don't know, they even hesitant, or they just so caught up in their own talent. And I get it, it comes with the territory, like you caught up with your locals. I get all that, but you need visitors. You need visitors to draw your audience, and who more better to draw your audience than a former NWA Women's Champion? I'm talking about someone who's won championships all over the East Coast and so forth. I'm talking someone who's faced some of the biggest names in women's wrestling. I'm talking Kacee Carlisle. And to all you Kentucky wrestling promotions out there, I don't know if I have to beg, plead, or get on my knees at this point, but Kacee Carlisle is willing to travel. She is willing to wrestle anywhere. You just contact her, and y'all two can exchange whatever y'all want. All I want is to have Kacee Carlisle wrestle in Kentucky, and I will try my hardest to get there. But it feels like to me, Kacee, I'm going to need to travel outside of Kentucky. That's what I've been starting to do recently. There's a woman wrestling show called Girl Fight, and I go there for women's wrestling because I don't get too much of it in Kentucky. So I know you're familiar with that company, and who knows, maybe they'll come to their senses and book you, because you are Kacee Carlisle after all. But to my Kentucky people, and I mean this sarcastically, but I'm very disappointed in y'all that y'all haven't been able to book Kacee. And I don't know. I don't know.
You can add me to that list, Kenny.
Yeah, you know.
You darn Kentucky promoters. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, yes. So, I'm just saying, reach out to her. Facebook, website, Twitter, whatever social media you may have, reach out to Kacee Carlisle, and hopefully we can make this a reality. But right now, like, I'm happy of the companies, and I preach this: support your local indie wrestling companies. I'm part of the many people who echoes that sentiment. But as far as bringing visitors like yourself and they brought all types of visitors, but they don't got Kacee Carlisle on their dial. Like, I don't know what to say, Kacee. I'm almost want to shed a tear right now, but I won't
I can
embarrass you.
tell. I hear that waver, that your voice is starting to shake a little bit. It's okay.
Yes.
Look, we're going to make it happen. Whether you travel a little bit, whether I travel a little bit, we meet in the middle. Someday, somehow, Kenny will see Kacee in person, and it'll be awesome.
Maybe I'm just going to have to pay a little extra, or maybe I need to be Booker for a day and say, Kacee Carlisle is coming to Kentucky whether you like it or not. She's coming to this company on this day. Book it. As far as the opponent, we'll figure that out. But we need to get Kacee out here to Kentucky, and we'll see how that goes. And on that note, Kacee, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it. And hopefully we will see each other in person. I mean, talking on the phone with you is always a pleasure, but to get a glimpse of you in person will make it even more meaningful. I'm just.
Well, thank you.
I'm just saying. But
one day. Well, thank you for having me on, Kenny, and congratulations, by the way, on your 5-year anniversary. That's awesome. And I always enjoy coming on the show and speaking to you, and just keep up the good work, and here's to 5 more years, man. I'll be on your 10-year anniversary here before long.
Well, congratulations on that milestone yourself. Someone who has been around for a long time, faced the best, and never a bad word mentioned about Kacee Carlisle as far as professionalism, showing up and just doing her job. I mean, that's hard to find for a lot of wrestlers, entertainers. You are a class personified, and if anyone who books you are a very lucky promoter. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well, thank you. That compliment is one of the highest and the best I can receive being in this business, and it means the world to me, truly. I'm not just saying that, so thank you very much for that.
You're absolutely welcome. You have a great night. Have a great weekend, Kacee.
Thank you, Kenny. You do the same.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was my last guest of the evening, Kacee Carlisle, and